Good.
All right, good morning, and welcome to the 43rd Ryder Cup here at Whistling Straits. We are joined by Mr. Lee Westwood. Lee, thanks for being with us, and welcome to what is your 11th career Ryder Cup. Had a terrific career. I have to imagine, though, playing in 11 Ryder Cups now, and especially in such an era of European team prosperity, that must be one of the things you hold in the highest regard about your own career.
Yeah, for sure. The first time I ever went to watch a golf tournament, it was the Ryder Cup at the Belfry in 1989, and then again in 1993. I didn't ever go and see the PGA at Wentworth or the British Masters at Woburn. The first golf tournament I ever played in, I actually played in. It was Madeira. So really, the sort of best feel for professional golf I ever got was watching, the likes of Seve Ballesteros and Ian Woosnam and Nick Faldo and Bernard Langer playing at the Belfry in the Ryder Cup. So when I did come round to playing in it in 1997, it gave me a real feel for it. That this was the pinnacle of certainly golf team sport, and nothing really compares to the Ryder Cup, I think. It's very difficult to make Ryder Cup teams, and very special when you do qualify for a team and get to represent Europe.
And you've done that well, thank you. Let's start over here with Mark, number 4.
Hey, Lee.
Hi, Mark.
Just curious what you believe has made you such a good Ryder Cup player, and I ever follow on that.
I'm a pretty good golfer, Mark. Always helps, doesn't it? I think, I get on pretty well with everybody. If somebody partners me, I'm pretty straight hitter of the ball. I hit a lot of fairways, hit a lot of greens. That's sort of what my game's been renowned for. I do make putts when I need to, despite what people's opinions might be. I just try and make playing partners comfortable and let them just do what they're doing. That's really what I learnt from playing my first one with Nick Faldo. He just let me. He was there to back me up, and I knew he was always going to be there. And just let your playing partner get off and express themselves. Best player to ever do that playing with me was probably Nicholas Colsaerts in his first ever match in a Ryder Cup in Chicago. He went out and shot 10 under, which was a phenomenal debut. I only came in once that day, but I like to think that he just felt comfortable that I was going to be there, if he needed me. And that's just the way I've always tried to be out on the golf course.
Are there any common denominators between yourself and Sergio and Pultz, for example? Because you're three of kind of the veteran guys on the group here, and you've all had success. What's your level of respect for those two guys?
Yeah, I obviously have a lot of respect for both of them. I think all three of us are very passionate about the Ryder Cup, and we hold it in very high regard. And we give it our all when we're involved.
Let's go right next door to number 3.
Hi, Lee.
Hi.
Given this is going to be almost an exclusively American crowd, like we've not seen before, have you guys done anything different, or have you personally done anything different to prepare for that?
No, not really. Just sort of understand that it is, and nothing's going to change that. And, you just have to deal with it. I'd much rather play in front of a crowd that's solely US fans than no crowd at all, like we experienced last year. Playing professional golf is all about playing in front of people and entertaining people, and the majority of the crowds are great fun. I've played in the US most of this year, and I get great feedback from the fans. They've watched me grow up out here, and they really feel like, I guess, they know me now. There's a familiarity there, and the US fans are generally very, very good with me and give me a lot of support. Might be different this week, but understand that. This is different this week. This is more like a football game or a basketball game where people have picked a side and you cheer for your side, which I enjoy it. That's what the Ryder Cup's all about.
And Rory mentioned a video that you guys watched last night and the numbers that you were given. Can you tell us a little bit more about that video, what was in it and what the message was?
Yeah, the video is about, representing Europe, obviously, and there's 164 players that's represented Europe. You have a far greater chance of going into space or climbing Mount Everest than you have representing Europe in the Ryder Cup. So we've all got numbers. Mine's the smallest number, obviously, at 118. But it's something to be very proud of, being able to, pull on the clothing with the European team crest on it.
Let's go back, Lee, to David, number 11.
Hi, David.
Hello, Lee. How are you?
Welcome to America.
Thank you. Victor was in here just now, exactly half your age. You're going to be practicing with him this afternoon. When you look at that contrast, does it make you feel, A, old, or B, even more proud of your longevity?
Yeah, it makes me proud of my longevity, really. Week in, week out, I play with somebody that's the same age as my son now. So, I'm pretty much used to that. The fact that it was his 24th birthday last week was a little bit surprising. But, I made my Ryder Cup debut in 1997. I was 24. He's a special golfer, Victor. I enjoy playing with him. I look at his game, and I think there's not a lot of weaknesses to that game, and he's nice. He's a really nice kid. I would say, credit to his parents for obviously the way he's been brought up. He's just a really nice young man, and secondly, he's a phenomenal golfer and one that I just enjoy watching and being around.
Has he got more in common with your caddy than with you?
Yeah, I'd say that they chat about more things that they can both relate to than myself and Victor can relate to. Certainly not music, all that heavy metal stuff.
We're going to come over here, number 21, right here.
Hey, Lee, another question about being old. I'm sorry, but...
well, I'm not old. I'm 48. Come on. How old are you?
Older than that.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Fair enough. But...
mature. Can we use the word mature? No, actually, mature doesn't apply to me either. So,
in 2018, you were a vice captain, and I'm just wondering, kind of, if back then, were you sort of thinking this might be the end of my playing days, or how did you take all of that, and did you see this coming?
Yeah, I think when you become a vice captain, it's. First and foremost, I enjoyed being a vice captain. I enjoyed watching the guys play and, obviously performing very well. But it does give you a taste that you want to still be involved. But, as the years go on and you get a little bit older, you don't know whether you're going to play Ryder Cup again. And it's obviously nice to be back holding the clubs again rather than other people. I said to the lads in the team room 3 years ago, I said, there's one thing worse than playing Ryder Cup practice rounds, and that's watching somebody else do it. So it's nice to not be watching somebody else do it and doing it myself again.
Same direction, 27 in the back.
Lee, the Americans have made a point to cite that their youth is something that's a positive for their team.
Yeah.
What do you read into that kind of comment? And do you think that is something that could be a perk coming to the Ryder Cup, being young and maybe unaware?
Well, I think it's good that they've got a lot of young players coming through. I think golf in general, there's a lot of good young players coming through. We've got players on our side that, and on our European tour. The Højgaard twins won recently. They're both 21 years of age or 20 years of age or something like that. So there are good young players all around the world. It just so happens that at this moment in time, the United States have got a few good young players playing for their team this way round, and that's a balancing act, I suppose. Because the Ryder Cup's so different, do you think that experience counts for a lot this week, or do you think because there's a lot of golf youth's going to count for a lot this week? I think it's got to be a balance of both, and I think in an ideal world, you'd like to filter your young players in gradually, a few at a time, not necessarily bang all at once and have half your team as rookies. But you know, it happens like that every now and again. And you know, listen, when I watch when I look at the United States team, I think that, you know, they've got a lot of strong players, and you know, it is almost like a changing of the guard for them.
Over on your right, Lee, number 7.
Lee, I'm always impressed by the passion of the European team, having covered this event for many years. I'm just curious, back in '97, did Monty or Ollie or someone put their arm around you to tell you how important the Ryder Cup is, or did you know from day one, even before you ever struck a shot in these matches, that this was as important as anything you would do in golf?
I knew from day one, really. Listen, that week the captain was Seve Ballesteros. There's nobody, there may have been 1 or 2 people over many generations been as passionate as Seve about the game of golf, but I doubt there's been many as passionate about the Ryder Cup as Seve was. And he was my captain at the first one, and you know, you just fed off him, really. And as with Nick Faldo as my partner, you know, Seve and Nick, you know, both held the Ryder Cup in high regard, and just being around them, you could see how much it meant to them. So passion for the Ryder Cup was never something that I had to learn or gain. Pretty much like, you know, the European team spirit. It's not something we have to work on. It's just there.
All right, we've got about 3 minutes left. Let's go rapid fire. Let's start with number 24, right here in the middle.
Lee, how long did it take you to get over the defeat of 2016, and do you feel like you have unfinished business this time?
A couple of days, I guess. You know, it's obviously you don't want to be on a losing Ryder Cup team, and I've only been on 3 out of 10. So you know, I've tasted success more than I've tasted defeat in the Ryder Cup. So when you go into the Ryder Cup, you have to understand that it's going to come out 1 or 2 ways. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. So you prepare yourself. You prepare yourself to play the best you can, and you hope you win. But on the other side of that coin, you might lose. You know, the other team might play better. And, you know, I think the United States team did that week. So you just have to accept that. If you can't accept defeat in sport, then probably shouldn't be playing it, especially as a golfer.
26 and then 20. We'll wrap it up.
Lee, you have a bit of a history in the Ryder Cup with American captain Stricker, 2 4-ball matches and a singles match. What do you recollect about those experiences with him that might show us, you know, what these matches, how he carried himself and what these matches might mean to him?
Yeah, I think Steve's a gentleman. I've always got on really well with him. We've been through the same things in a career together. You know, been high up in the world rankings, had slumps, dropped right back down. I remember playing with him in Tiger's tournament at Sherwood many years ago, and we got drawn together, and we had, you know, a great conversation on the way around about how we kind of brought ourselves out of the slump. And you know, he's a nice guy. He's the kind of person that, you know, you'd want to sit down and have a beer with.
Wrap it up here, number 20. Neil.
Hello, Lee. What's the best line you've heard from a crowd at a Ryder Cup?
I got called a turd in Hazeltine in 2016, and that's the first time I've been called a turd since I was about 12 years of age in a playground, I think. So that really made me and Billy chuckle, that one.
We'll leave it right there. Mr. Westwood, thank you for being here, and
Thank you.
have a terrific day and week.
Cheers.